Is Jimenez a good shout? And I've seen some questions about Arnautović, and I'm sure I saw questions about other strikers as well. Murray is probably one. Mitrović. So let's have a look at the strikers. First of all, looking at the season ticker, Brighton have the best fixtures in the next 6. So that's a plus point in Glen Murray's favour. Newcastle, Wolves, Everton, Cardiff, Leicester, Huddersfield. Then the next best striker in that kind of budget area. I mean, Watford have a good next 4 if you want to go Troy Deeney or Andre Gray. Wolves, Raul Jimenez, 2 good games, then 2 bad games, and then 2 good games. Watford, Brighton, Hove Albion, Tottenham, Arsenal, Huddersfield and Cardiff. As Xavier Jacobs joins the flock. Thank you very much, my friend. The problem I have with Raul Jimenez is he doesn't seem very clinical in front of goal. So that is what's making me not really push towards him as far as a choice. As far as Wolves attacking wise, I think there's going to be chances created there, and Raul Jimenez could have periods where he's very, very good. But my fear is just that he's going to be one of those that's really infuriating to own. You've then got Fulham with Cardiff, Bournemouth, Huddersfield. Good next 3. Liverpool, then Southampton, then Chelsea. So Mitrović, not as good as Brighton in the long term. But in the short term, Cardiff, Bournemouth, Huddersfield, those are good 3 to expect some goals from Mitrović. So that's a good, say, shorter term transfer, I'd say. Southampton, you've got Ings, Bournemouth, Newcastle next, and Watford, Fulham after Man City, then Man United. West Ham, if you can stretch out to Arnautović. Once it past Tottenham, Leicester, Burnley, Huddersfield, then it is Man City, then it's Newcastle. Bournemouth have a good next 2, but I'm assuming if you have one of them, keep. If you don't have one of them, I wouldn't be bringing them in yet. Southampton, Fulham is decent, but then the fixtures do tend to get a bit tougher. So for me, fixture-wise, Murray is head and shoulders above rest as far as a long-term look. Wolves are kind of the team that are in form with Bournemouth. Bournemouth's fixtures get tougher. Wolves' fixtures a bit up and down, so that would be in Raul Jimenez's favour. But like I said, just not too sure about how clinical Jimenez is. And then Fulham, Mitrović. Mitrović is getting plenty of attempts on goal. He's now coming up against Cardiff and Huddersfield in the next 3, who concede goals. Game possibly more open, because this is a game really that Cardiff and Huddersfield should be looking to win, even though it is against an attacking Fulham side. So my gut is telling me Mitrović is a really good look for the next 3 fixtures. And as far as I'm aware, he's dropped in price recently, which is a surprise to me. So for me, if you're actually looking to bring in, if you can afford Arnautović, West Ham have definitely looked good, but I'm not sure you have to do it this game week. Starting from next game week, potentially he's a good look. But right now for me, Murray or Mitrović, and I feel like I'm just leaning towards Mitrović a little bit more than I am Murray. I think Murray's game time, because of his age, could be managed, whereas I think Mitrović is going to play all 90 minutes. I think Mitrović is the one to go for, and then potentially if you're making another transfer for a striker next game week, maybe Arnautović. I think Arnautović, Mitrović, and then a premium price striker could be a very, very good look. A lot of people looking at Vardy and Lacazette, of course, because of the fixtures as well. Both have good fixtures. Arsenal are starting to look like they're getting the Emery system, so I would maybe consider Lacazette. I feel like Arsenal play better when Lacazette is on, but that could just be that he's come in at a time when the team is starting to understand the formation a bit better and the tactics. Vardy, I'm worried about saying anything against him, because the few times I have, he's proved me wrong. He's a proven scorer in the Premier League. Leicester look okay going forward with Maddison there as well. So I think, do you really want to double up on Leicester City though? Don't get me wrong, they've had a season where doubling up on them with Mahrez and Vardy was the move to make. But I'm not sure they've done enough yet where you want to double up on Leicester City. I would say doubling up should be reserved for if there's a budget option. So for instance, Bournemouth with Fraser and Wilson, their overall value is so low that doubling up on them for good fixtures is decent. Doubling up on Leicester when one of them is 9 million, I'm not sure is a good move personally. But I'll be happy to double up on sides in form like Wolves, for instance, where there's so many cheap options. Like doubling up on their defence, I think it's a risk you can take. Just if there's an expensive player in there and they're not Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea at the moment, Maybe Arsenal are making steps towards being that for me as well. I wouldn't double up, although Arsenal, the rotation's a bit too much of a worry there. But yeah, I wouldn't double up on Leicester. I'd probably lean towards Lacazette because I think Maddison offers good value for money.